More information emerged last week in the Matt Gaetz scandal with new evidence directly implicating the congressman in potential criminal activity. You have followed this story more than any reporter in America. Take it from there.
You know, I was actually starting to lose faith in the investigation. I thought for sure Matt Gaetz may have already gotten away with this. And then, of course, last week, big story breaks from ABC News. Listen, turns out Joel Greenberg, the indicted Seminole County tax collector who's good friends with Gaetz, has been turning over thousands of pieces of evidence. This includes videos, photographs, text messages, emails, everything you could possibly want. And yes, according to some of the evidence that has, I guess, been leaked, it does appear to directly implicate Matt Gaetz in this, underage sex scandal.
Here's the problem. I've said it's time. We have a DOJ, a Department of Justice, that has no courage. If it's not low-hanging fruit, the trial lawyers will not go to trial to try a case. It's got to be a lock, stock deal where they know absolutely 100% they're going to win. That's how they think of the Department of Justice. Otherwise, there would already be indictments flying, don't you think?
Yeah, Matt Gaetz would have already been hauled away in handcuffs at this point, especially based on just the one piece of evidence we got last week where Greenberg was messaging with this very young woman, said, hey, my fee is $400. He said, great, I'll bring my friend. You bring your friend, $400 apiece. And he sends a picture of Matt Gaetz and said, here's my friend. And sadly enough, it was a picture of Matt Gaetz at an elementary school.
Yeah.
And she said, oh, he's really cute. And Greenberg says, yes, he is. By the way, do you do ecstasy? Because he's already pitching the drug part,
in the
too.
same conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Matt Gaetz as my pal. We want to meet with you. And they want to meet at Jason Pirozzolo. Jason Pirozzolo was the guy who led the medical marijuana fight in Florida. So they want to meet over at Jason's house with a little ecstasy, I guess, the way these emails read. This is the craziest story I've ever seen. And for the Department of Justice to be saying, I don't know if we got enough. My God, we go to trial with a fraction of that kind of thing in what we do.
I mean, and Greenberg has already had his sentencing delayed because of how much information he is handing over to prosecutors. So obviously they know what they're getting is gold. They know what they're getting is trustworthy. They've been able to verify. Yeah. So the fact that this man is still allowed to travel the country with Marjorie Taylor Greene, giving ridiculous speeches, no. I mean, we've got the evidence. Let's make it happen.
Keep up your reporting. Keep at it.
Oh, I will never stop.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett has refused to block a plan by Indiana University to require students and employees to get vaccinated against the coronavirus to attend classes or keep their job. Brigida Santos joins me now to talk about the details. Brigida, first I'll break down Justice Barrett's decision for us, if you would.
Associate Justice Barrett handles emergency cases for the U.S. Court of Appeals 7th Circuit, which includes Indiana. Now, she acted on her own in rejecting a plea from 8 students seeking exemption from Indiana University's COVID vaccine mandate. The students claimed they have a constitutional right to bodily autonomy and of medical treatment choice. Justice Barrett did not offer an explanation for her decision not to refer the case to the full 9-justice court, but throughout history, state Supreme Courts and lower federal courts have consistently upheld vaccination mandates as a condition of school attendance or job employment. So far, the U.S. Supreme Court has declined to interfere with those decisions, as we've just seen again here in the case of Indiana University.
Yeah, I don't think there's any earth-shattering qualities about this opinion. She's just relied on a lot of precedent for making this kind of decision. Vaccine mandates aren't new. Where have they been implemented? Time after time, we've seen them implemented. And there's some suggestion that she did something untoward here. No, she didn't. She followed the precedent that's been out there a long time. What's your take?
Absolutely. Today, all U.S. states and territories have vaccination requirements for children to attend schools and child care facilities. Most schools require vaccines for things like measles, polio, chickenpox, meningitis, and whooping cough. And these requirements are legal. Nearly 100 years ago, the Supreme Court issued a landmark ruling in Jacobson versus Massachusetts, upholding the right of states to compel vaccination as a reasonable exercise of police power to ensure public health. Back then, the court rejected the idea of a personal choice exemption, ruling that vaccine mandates do not violate the 14th Amendment because the Constitution doesn't give every person the absolute right to be wholly free from restraint at all times, especially when it comes to the safety of society.
Now, you got that right on the head. I mean, it was just a perfect analysis of what the law, how it's developed, and where we are today. What did the court say about religious exemptions from vaccination requirements?
The U.S. Supreme Court has yet to directly address whether a person has a constitutional right to refuse vaccination on religious grounds, but rulings in other SCOTUS cases provide clues as to how it could rule in the future if it chooses to finally hear a relevant case. For example, in 1944, SCOTUS heard a case involving child labor under an asserted right of religious freedom. The court ruled that neither the rights of religion or parenthood are beyond limitation, and that the state can restrict parents' control by prohibiting child labor, requiring school attendance, and other things. It gave the example that a parent cannot claim freedom from compulsory vaccination for a child on religious grounds because the right to practice religion freely does not include liberty to expose the community or a child to communicable disease, ill health, or death. That being said, today 48 states do allow religious exemptions by statute, and the courts are mixed over whether states can actually do so.
Brigida, as I listen to you, it's as if you were in constitutional law classes with me. That was a perfect evaluation of where we are on vaccinations. Very nice recap there. Very nice job. Thank you for joining me, okay?
Anytime, Mike.